If you stay long enough with me today, I will briefly explain you what the heck is going on with the world, where we are heading, what's happening, what are the trends and tendencies, how close we are to World War III. Pax Americana comes to the end, and question is whether America will ever be great again. United States has become polarized society with the administration too busy with arming Israel in committing what they are committing. We are still waiting for the outcome of the ruling from International Court of Justice. We will see, is it a genocide or just a legitimate right to defend by all means, including killing humanitarian aid workers.
Aid organization World Central Kitchen, that's based in the US, says it's immediately suspending its operations in Gaza after an airstrike killed 7 of its workers. The organization says those killed are from Australia, Poland, the United Kingdom, a dual citizen of the US and Canada, as well as a Palestinian. In a statement, it said the convoy was hit as it was leaving the Deir al-Balah warehouse after unloading aid, and that it had coordinated movements with the IDF.
That's legitimate. Who dare to feed some civilians? Bad. That's bad. On the other hand, the United States is calculating with arming Ukraine because they don't want to piss off Putin and risk nuclear disaster. But on the third hand, they tolerate somebody says Israeli attack, but we still don't know for certain because Israel denies. But the attack in Damascus, in Syria, on Iranian consulate. I don't know, maybe it's in line with the Vienna Convention. Maybe I skipped that part. Maybe everything is legitimate. But again, you remember, you can find on my channel a video which debunks claims that was, let's say, sleepy, caught off guard on 7th October 2023, and they failed to predict and prevent Hamas attacks. I claimed that Israeli intelligence service, Mossad, is one of the best in the world. And that proves surgically precise attack on diplomatic office of the state of Iran in Damascus. Also, this proves that IDF, Israeli Defense Force, can actually avoid using 2,000 pounds or 907 kilograms bombs to eliminate, let's say, one Hamas soldier, combatant, whatever, you name it, and as a collateral damage kill, let's say, 30 or 50 kids and elderly people. So there is a lot of BS these days that it's I'm bitter, I'm not smiling, I'm bitter because so much BS. When you open any mainstream media, you get a lot of BS. You get tired. And you are wondering, do they really think we are that stupid that we will buy all this? I will also give you before the end of this video, let's say, interesting thing. It's emotional tie of Donald Trump with the Crocus City Hall in Moscow, which was the venue of a recent terrorist attack by ISIS, Islamic State, Khorasan. It's funny that Trump actually accused Barack Obama, former president, that he actually established. He's the father of Islamic State, and Hillary Clinton is like second in charge.
I call President Obama and Hillary Clinton the founders of ISIS. They're the founders.
As I said, United States is a highly polarized society. The elections are coming in November, and the primaries already expectedly became very, very dirty. As a non-US citizen, I really don't care who is going to win. But I care as an international election expert how somebody will win. It doesn't matter where, in what country, but, For instance, I criticized the great victory of supreme leader of Russian Federation. Wow, landslide victory, supported by armed forces, and no opposition, and no free media, and everything is no. When I mentioned Pax Americana, actually, for those who don't know what means Pax, means peace in Latin. There is a definition which you can see, and it started with Pax Romana, where Rome was ruling and the rest of the world was irrelevant. Then big Pax was Pax Britannica, where the UK ruled more or less with the entire globe. They had main strings, main means of their hegemony, and it lasted until World War II, when Pax Americana was born. It was born in Bretton Woods. So, as a result of Bretton Woods deal, now we have, instead of the League of Nations, United Nations, which are equally incompetent, and there are a lot of competent people there, but they don't have power, they don't have authority to do anything. But both League of Nations and United Nations failed big time in maintaining the peace and prevention of the conflicts. Resolution, diplomatic avenues for peace settlements, etc., etc. Until we get, let's say, some kind of third United Nations. Well, a lot of people considered United Nations as a tool for promotion of globalism. But with that pandemic, we realized that globalism doesn't have a chance, at least for now. Nation states are still too strong and too stingy in sharing the power. Are we going to face global regionalism? We will see. So I have to condemn Israeli defense force for killing at least 7 humanitarian aid workers because the IDF claims that they are investigating this incident at the highest level, blah, 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 blah. But, it's again BS. So we are witnessing that food has been weaponized, and those who are protecting Israel do not care. I'm talking about United States primarily and UK. Although their citizens were among those 7 good souls who wanted to just feed people who are hungry, who are starving. That was their crime, probably. Because you remember, Israel has full right to defend itself, and the largest threat is when you feed hungry people. But don't understand this as a criticism against Jewish state, Jewish people. No, I'm criticizing primarily Mr. Bibi Netanyahu and his cabinet. I'm not the only one who criticizes them. Even citizens of Israel in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, throughout entire Israel, they protest, and they organized huge protests against this incompetent government. And they request early elections and to sack Bibi Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu firmly holds his chair. He doesn't want to leave the power. Not only because he likes power, but it keeps him away from the jail. If we roll back before 7th of October 2023, there was huge criticism even in Knesset, the parliament of Israel, where Netanyahu has been accused of corruption, and Hamas attack came at the right moment. Wow, what a coincidence. And Mossad was caught off guard. BS. And again, at the peak of protests against Netanyahu these days, what happened? Iranian consulate in Damascus has been hit by aircraft bombs by unknown perpetrators who, by the way, have F-35s. And I don't know, maybe it was you, or because you have F-35 in the garage. Well, we know who has F-35. I don't have it. And many of you don't have it, but we know who has it. Yeah, Israel could be the perpetrator, and the timing is just right. What's the goal? The goal is simply to escalate the conflict in Middle East. The goal is to protect Bibi Netanyahu's chair and his cabinet, and involve United States into a large war, maybe too large war with Iran directly, and Iranian proxies around Israel. What will be the response from Iran after this attack in Damascus? Many analysts say this and that, but I think whatever response would be, it will be labeled in mainstream media as a terrorist attack, another terrorist attack by Islamic fanatics, blah, blah. Yeah, maybe it would be terrorist attack, but even if they hit a legitimate military target, it would be terrorist attack. So it's the war of narration. And we are witnessing the war of narratives. Depends who runs certain media, that would be the narrative. And it's quite okay. But the question is, how many people hears what I'm telling you? How many people care? I can show you one interesting detail, over 90% of unsubscribed viewers are watching my videos, and about 5% are subscribed. It's okay. So, what happened between Trump and Crocus City Hall, which, as we know, was recently burned to ground? Back in 2013, there was a beauty contest under Trump's franchise, Miss Universe, and now you can see how that advertisement was published in Russian media. There was semi-finals and finals in Moscow, and at that time it was still Twitter, not X. Donald Trump tweeted a message full of hope that President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, would arrive at least at finals to shake hands and maybe become the best friends. So, yeah, for Putin, Trump was just one of oligarchs, and Putin knows too many oligarchs. They are not interesting for him. But later on, in 2016, when Donald Trump took the office of the President of the United States, they became good friends. Now, the question is, what will happen if Trump wins the office of the President, and how he is going to treat Putin, and is he still fan of Putin? We will see. The question is, since we are witnessing the end of Pax Americana, which Pax will be the next? A lot of people say it will be China, whoever. I don't know. We will see. Maybe it will be, I don't know. Actually, Putin is dreaming about Ruski Mir. But, word Mir in Russian has dual meaning. It can be peace, but also the world. In both cases, that would be right definition of Roman word Pax. Not only peace, but also the entire world. So, the essence of politics, by some scholars, is power struggle. Now we are witnessing a lot of power struggles between states, within the states, even maybe even between individuals. So I want you to stay safe and smart, and don't buy BS propaganda from whoever and wherever you are. See you.